Check. Oh, that's high.
That's too high.
That's high.
It's 2 p.m. Detroit, and you know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network. Woodward Sports.
Hey,
right.
Let's go! Monday show, July 15th, 2024. Ermanni and Edwards with Mass. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, and the Fox Local app. If you are watching live, if you're watching on YouTube, part of the 66,000 subscribers on this platform, we say hello to you. Coming to you live from the Calvin Johnson Jr. Foundation golf outing at the Detroit Golf Club.
Megatron.
Huh?
Megatron.
Calvin Johnson. Awesome stuff. Tom Mazza, Braylon out on the course. We're hoping to see Braylon at some point today. I think that is dependent upon how good he's playing, potentially. But we'll check in with Braylon.
We just saw Joik Bell.
Absolutely. We saw Joik Bell, Herman Moore, Charles Haley, Lomas Brown.
Here. How about Kenny
Mayne?
Kenny Mayne.
Absolutely. Tom Mazza, good afternoon to you, my friend.
What's up, brother?
You, baby.
It's all good. Gorgeous day it turned out to be.
Well, now we're under this canopy here at the Detroit Golf Club where they just had the Rocket Mortgage Classic about a week and a half ago. And the breeze that we have, shielded from the sun, I have to tell you,
it's outstanding.
Is quite pleasant.
Outstanding. Now, I'm walking around this place, and I definitely don't belong, first of all.
Sure you do, man.
It's a gorgeous, what a place, man. That's prestige when you walk in this place. And it's coming.
Right. You say, what's the date?
Yep. You're coming.
Right? Isn't that how it works? But, guys, a big show for you today. We're going to have a couple of special guests join us throughout the program, including Calvin Johnson. So we're looking forward to that. I do want to start, though, with what happened earlier this morning, and that is that Calvin Johnson is going to be inducted into the Pride of the Lions on September 30th.
About time.
Monday Night Football against the Seattle Seahawks, the 2021 Hall of Famer, Pro Football Hall of Famer going in. This is on X this morning. This is a post from Kay Adams, who is also here, by the way.
Yes.
Easy is roaming around here somewhere. Easy chased her down, Kay Adams. But
I don't blame him.
Here is the video of Calvin Johnson this morning.
Let me get a second to compose myself. I appreciate you all for being here. Hey, y'all not being all messed up. I'm a crier, man. It's crazy. I get it from my dad. I appreciate you guys being here. What an honor it is for you guys to come out and support the foundation and our initiatives. Yes, this the big portion of the funds that we raise will be used for the youth, and it's in our scholarship program. We used to go back and forth between Atlanta and Detroit doing the scholarships. Now, because we started the golf outing last year, this year we're able to do it.
And again, that post from Kay Adams on X. And, Maz, that was a side of Calvin Johnson that I think a lot of people don't get to see very often. He was very emotional about it, and he does such great work. You know, scholarships, the scholarships that he gives out to the youth here in Detroit, in Atlanta, pretty remarkable stuff. And to see that side of him, I thought was awesome.
You know he had it in him. I mean, he's a wonderful guy. Just a terrific guy. And I'm so happy that he and the Lions are together again, the way they should have been from day one. And it's all because of Sheila Hamp getting everyone together, Rod Wood,
Mike
the
Disner.
rest of Mike Disner.
He was made the announcement today, KG, absolutely.
It's fantastic how they're back together, just like Barry, just like, you know, it's a fantastic thing. Yep. Calvin Johnson represents the Detroit Lions, man. We got two of the great Hall of Famers of the last bunch of decades that played for the Lions, man. And how proud to be a Barry Sanders fan and a Calvin Johnson fan.
You know, and when you think of just the utter class that Calvin Johnson carries himself with all throughout his entire career, after his career was over, what he still currently does here I mean, you look up class in the dictionary and you see a picture of Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
He's just
he's
that remarkable of a person, and I think we are so fortunate here in Detroit to have him as, one of ours.
It's proud, I've always been a Lion fan. I know I grew up in Jersey, guys, before you get on me. They were always my third favorite, always, because of Thanksgiving. Growing up, never missed a Thanksgiving Day game. And when I met my future wife in New York City, she happened to be from Michigan, the first thing I asked her to do was, I got to come for Thanksgiving and go to a game. I went to Tiger Stadium, and I went to a Thanksgiving Day game. I went to the Big House. But going to that Thanksgiving Day game and now being here 32 years in Detroit, I couldn't be a bigger Lion fan. I just absolutely am proud to be a Lions fan, and I'm proud that Calvin Johnson is going into that Ring of Honor. The pride of the Lions.
No doubt about it. And as somebody pointed out on our YouTube chat, I think it's Alan, we're finally going to beat the Seahawks now.
Yes, it's due,
right?
man. We due.
Better.
Right?
Hey, and ain't going to be, what's his name, on the sidelines anymore.
Pete Carroll?
Pete Carroll's not on those sidelines anymore, working the refs. If they don't beat him this time, I give up completely.
Right? Isn't that something? So that's going to be something to look forward to on the schedule throughout the year. Again, September 30th, Monday Night Football against the Seattle Seahawks on September 30th. Calvin Johnson going to go in to the pride of the Lions. It is something that many of us love to see. We just we saw Chris Spielman go in. Was it last year or a couple of years ago?
No, I think didn't he announce it? Wasn't he one of the guys who announced it? He's been in, hasn't he?
Lomas Brown went in last year.
That's who put
Lomas
him in.
is over
Lowe's
there.
Here. I got to hang with Lowe for today.
But again, like when you think of this new regime with the Detroit Lions, and by regime I mean Sheila Hamp and Chris Spielman and Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, it seems like they are dipping into Lions history, right? I mean, they are making Lions alumni feel a part of this whole thing. And come on in, Herman.
Hey.
Whenever you want, Herman. Come on in.
Let me give him a headset.
But it's just one of those things.
I'm sitting here.
Matt, we're just going to do a little swap out. Hey, we're on the fly today. There's no doubt about it. We're having a little fun here. Herman Moore, one of the great Lions receivers of all time.
Come on now.
Here.
Come on now.
The greatest.
Oh, come on now.
How do you, now, did you guys have fun about that, you and Calvin?
Always.
Who's the great?
You know what?
How does that
I thought about
conversation
going.
go?
Hey, listen, man. I thought about going out on my own, and you're going. You know what? I'm gonna have to slow this guy down. He's moving too fast. He's getting there too quick. And now we got St. Brown doing the same thing.
Right.
So I might have to pay him a visit. I won't injure him during the season, though.
Herman, we always joke about, too, and I mentioned this with Braylon a lot, too. Like, you see some of these contracts that these wide receivers are getting now. Like, can you give me 6 to 8 plays?
The thing is, my mom, she moved here from Virginia. I have her here. She's wonderful, wonderful lady. She's 76 years old. And I said, Mom, if you and Dad would have just waited like 15 years. Right. 15 years. Just think of how your life would be now.
Right.
You're living good now. She retired at 42.
They're living good.
She retired at 42. But we could have retired her even in a grander way. She had her own boat, her own helicopter, and the whole nine.
Have everything.
But you know what? And this is a great team. This is a fun team to watch. I won't throw around loosely the word great, but fun team to watch. I think they have just an opportunity right now to piggyback off what they did last year. It's going to be a tougher road. But, man, how exciting is it?
I want to cut you off a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because you're talking about this year's Lions team. I want to talk
we
about
got Charles Haley here.
Talk about your Lions team.
There he is. Man, there he is. Yeah, man, hey, look, you know what? It's funny, man, because, when Charles, it was great. It's always great saying him, man. I always tease him because Charles is a VA guy, Virginia guy. 2 up, 2 down. You know how we do. And
the Who's.
For Who's, man. But he's from that state, man, just a legend in his own right, just not only from our state, but through the NFL and his tenure and his travels. But he was also there as a coach, for a short time when he came over and coached with the Lions. People may not remember that. And,
I do.
And I remember Charles, man, and he and I, we bonded then. So it's been great, just seeing guys, man. I really appreciate my career post. Playing because I didn't realize how much fun we were having. wins and losses are one thing, and no disrespect to the game itself, but the relationships that you put together, the people you get to know behind from beneath the helmet, and then after the career, man, it's even being here like with what Calvin's doing and just seeing Joic and Lomas and just a lot of people, man. Just we do so much more than just be athletes.
Right.
I want to talk about your teams, those teams in the 90s, okay? Because those teams, they brought me a lot of joy. It was fun to watch the Lions in the 90s. And the old Mike O'Hara always said, hey, them and the Dallas Cowboys, right? They made the playoffs the most out of any NFL teams in the 90s was the Lions and the Cowboys. And then you guys go and beat the Cowboys. And then they went one way and we went another way. But those teams, man, so close to getting to the big dance. So close. One step away, just like this team was last year. How does that feel all these years later?
It feels like it should have happened sooner. I have to admit, we look at how long it's taken. We talk about the drought of a team going, whether it be to a playoff or doing to the NFC Championship game or even having an opportunity to play postseason on a regular basis. You would think we'd have more of that to celebrate with the Detroit Lions when you look at all the talent that has come through. But it's not about the talent individually. It's about having it at the right time.
Right.
And right now, putting it together where you have developed the talent is what I see that is different. Like we brought in guys. We were bringing in, whether it's Swillen, where we bring in guys from different teams that were supposed to be that difference maker. The thing that they did a little bit differently, in my opinion, here was they started to develop players, and they developed a culture. They developed a system. They brought people in, and then they played the hits and misses the first year or so, year or two. And then all of a sudden, those players developed, and they developed under a system. Whereas it was like, okay, whether it was a coordinator or a coach or a position coach or making a change here and getting rid of a guy because he was paid too much. He's paid $100,000 too much.
Think about that.
It was all these weird things that were happening that pulled us away from the ultimate vision of being a championship, sustainable team of having postseason play. And so that's what I see that's a little bit different now. And then also bringing in a coaching staff that understands how to do one of the biggest things that teams miss, Ryan and Maz, and that is the communication portal.
Yep.
Coaches identify with the players. They don't get offended when the players say something back to them because they were once players. And they once understood those things, and you have a good balance so it's not overly just people come from these different trees, right? These are people that are come in and ultimately have built it together.
It's interesting you mentioned that, Herman, because we talk often about like just the ability to communicate. I feel like, if a Lions player has a question about, playing time or whatever the case may be, Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are going to tell him.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's no guessing. You know where you stand with these two guys, and just how, as a professional athlete, you take the guesswork out of it. You know exactly where you stand. You know exactly what you have to do. You know the reason behind every decision that's made, and that goes back to communication, what that means for an athlete in their preparation, in their weekly preparation, at game time, everything like that. How important is that?
It's very important. Think of something really key that you said. And these are those small things that people will miss in conversation. If I go to Dan Campbell, I go to Brad Holmes, or I go to someone and say, what is my status? They will, whether you like it or not, it's the honest answer. If you give them the honest answer, but you know what even follows up behind that? I would not be surprised, and I'm sure this is what happens. They'll say, you know what, they may even make calls on their behalf to other teams. They may even try and see if they can get them in other places so that their career doesn't just end with the Detroit dealing or just making that call. I can't say that it was always the case, and I think everyone evolves, players evolve, even myself post-career. I look back at some things I wish I had done a little bit differently, would be there. And I'm sure the organization looks at it and says, here's where we potentially need to get better. And we may have had some failure. And it's just been good to see what has happened. And when you can bring in people who can be transparent, authentic, and honest, trustworthy, loyal. All these things are those intangibles that people miss sometimes when it comes to sports because we get you hear the bad blood. Every time a player leaves or staff changes, it's always some drama behind the scenes that we never knew about. And here I'm sure there is some, but the people who need to know.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Hey, 91 when you guys were that close, and the following year they don't even tell Eric Kramer, hey, we're not going to have you on the team. Eric Kramer shows up. He's like, I'm not even on the roster. Right. I mean, it's unbelievable what happened. This close to being in the Super Bowl. You lost to a better team. The Redskins were the better team that year. You couldn't win at RFK. There's no one that could beat him at RFK then. But you guys should have stayed the course. Instead, they don't even bring the freaking quarterback back.
Right. And he goes off to Chicago.
Yes, and he still has records for the Bears.
He's still the all-time leading passer for the Bears.
That goes back to what we just talked about. It's the recognition and the growth. I think that the organization itself has gone through a growth and a maturity state and also an organizational state to where I won't say that they never had it right as much as for some reason right now it's clicking at the right space. I think there's people who are understanding their role inside of it. Remove the titles from it and saying, what is it that you're responsible for? If it's scouting, it's scouting. If it's for being the administrative piece to make sure the fan experience and everything is good, then so be it. If it's coaching, then you coach that unit and you bring that thing from the unit to our team or unit, or if it's the defensive side or offensive side, we bring it together. Then we bring it together as a team. I think there's a structure. I think there's a piece here that extends beyond just profitability and money as much as, okay, how do we now make sure that the fans and there's quality in what we're doing and there's something that you can believe has traction.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's I see some things differently on the outside looking in. I don't do as much with the organization as I would like, but I will say this. I am a follower. I spend a lot of time supporting in the background. I am a huge advocate of our fan and the community and the people that have support, and even those like you all who are bringing just kind of the behind the scenes to the forefront, because I think people need to understand all the dynamics at play. And now that we're in an era where digital media allows for that behind the scene access, it makes it more engaging. I think you have a more personal feel and a touch with the teams now.
Let me pick up on that. We're talking to one of the great Lions to ever wear the uniform, Herman Moore. 84. Herman, when you talk about that, Calvin, it was announced this morning that he's going into the pride of the Lions. I feel like over the last couple of years, since Sheila has taken over specifically, that there has been an effort to bring the former Lions back into the fold a little bit. And I know you're not doing as much with the organization as you'd like to. You just said that anyway. What is the feeling around this current organization over the last couple of years specifically with former Lions and your former teammates and people getting back into the fold?
Well, I think there's some really good things. And me, I always tell people, be careful what you ask me. Because I'm
there's no
answer.
doubt.
And this isn't, I never want to be one of those that says, okay, I'm going to be a downer or bring any other things. I think there's some obvious people that you bring into the fold. There's obvious people that you're going to build your organization around. But somewhere it gets lost is if you're not in the Ring of Honor, if you're not considered one of these more prominent players, there's other guys, there's another 98% of the people who get missed that also have helped us become the players that we are. And I like to see more being done to make sure that what are the events, what is the planning we can put around making sure that we make sure it's not about if you're just a legend, but were you a former player that came in here and you laid it out on the field with the best of your ability? How do we get you opportunities as well? So for me, it's been more of me looking at it from that standpoint. And in a very unselfish way. I can't say I've always been that way. I've been a player to say, hey, yeah.
Well, people and players evolve. I evolve. Like everybody evolves, right? I mean, we all, I'll speak for myself. You make mistakes. You learn from mistakes. You move on. You grow. You evolve.
Yeah, so to your point, what I see is that this regime and new leadership has made, in my opinion, an effort to say, how do we do more?
Right.
How do we make it so that we bring in those that have meant so much to the organization, not only in what they do post-career but during their career, but how do we bring them in to show that they are the ones that epitomize and they're the ones who represent really the fabric of what we're trying to create here as an organization. So bringing these players back I think is important.
Right.
And I think the organization has done a really, really good job at doing that, so I applaud them. And so I would hope at some point there's more.
Let me say this, and you don't have to say it, I'll say it. Over the last 30 to 40 years, you can count on one hand the 5 greatest players in Lions history. Herman Moore is on that hand.
Yes.
Okay? There's no question about it. It's not debatable. And, I know today's Calvin's event, and Calvin went in today, but you have got to be the next one. You have got to be the next one. And I invite anybody to go back and look at last year's shows in August, the last 2 or 3 years in August, how personally offended I am as a Lions fan that there is a number 84 being worn.
Oh, God, yeah. We mention that
there
all the time.
I mean, we talk about that year in and year out. You don't have to say anything. I'll say it. I am personally offended as a Lions fan
I second that
somebody wears 84 out there because, like I said, over the last 30 to 40 years, one hand, count the 5 greatest Lions. Herman Moore's on that list.
Right. Let me just say this. And this is, and I apologize, Maz. Here's the only thing I would say. All right, I think there's so many players. Here's what I would love. If Lions are looking and they're listening, here's my ask. It's to do what I am going to do, whether anyone else does it or not. I'm going to make it a mission of mine is to tell people about the people who've been there before us.
Yep.
One, legends did it first, and that's going to be my motto. That's going to be my thing. Like the legends, these are the people who set the path that we forget because time escapes us all, and then what we do is we forget the people who lay the bricks. That's one. Two is when we're doing that, how do we also start to bring in the new fans that are coming in to make sure they understand the legacy and the people and what the organization has gone through, up or down, to ultimately get to this point in time where we are. And then celebrating the fans and the people who have brought us to this point. And I don't say that stuff lightly, like whether it's our platform that we've created, like Lions Nation Unite, or whether it's me going out and touching these communities. I do it not because I'm wanting someone to give me a paycheck or pay me, as much as it means a lot because I see them. And I want them to be recognized. It's great that, we're top 5, top 10, whatever it is. Sure. That's great. But I'm telling you, there are other people and their families who sacrifice so much to get us to this game where it is today. Sure. And it's not just the Lions. So my thing would be to see more of that happen, to have players like myself utilize our platform, the current players use their platform today to not just talk about, because they're going to get the press, but how do we also make sure that we start to build the richness of the organization as well? That also is important when you start talking about building brand awareness. And that gets missed because you get so much into what's happening now and the team now and all that. Right. But, man, I go to these other organizations, and I get envious when I see it's beyond just the ring. And if I happen to look up and see a name or a number or number versus if I go in and I walk down a corridor and, man, there's this spread that shows these different historic players, and they're there.
Embrace the history.
Oh, my gosh,
Embrace the legends. Man, let me say this.
Missed.
Let me say, I'm sorry.
Okay, man. Don't worry about it.
I want to point this out to you, too.
I used to do a show with Herman back in the day. It's okay.
I want to ask you
He
this,
knows
too.
I'll go, man. I'll go on and on.
Put the tape on, okay? Lomas Brown is a Pro Football Hall of Famer.
All day.
Herman Moore
is
a Pro Football Hall of Famer.
He will be.
Do you think the jersey matters? Do you think the jersey matters? Like for instance,
Jersey's respect.
If Lou Whitaker played for the New York Yankees, he would have been in the Baseball Hall of Fame 25 years ago.
To me, jerseys are respect, right?
Right.
You are going to have certain players that, right or wrong, good or bad, that they're going to be put in the bright lights, and there's things they're going to contribute to a team. We know. Let's break it down. Barry can't be Barry. Calvin can't be Calvin. I can't be me. Lomas. It doesn't matter who you pick individually. They can't do it without the team. But ultimately, there are certain ones that you go, here's something that represents them. I think the Ring of Honor is cool. I think part of that becomes the jersey is a part because when a person's wearing that, you don't just give that to anyone.
Right.
You just don't do those type of things. And then when you see it done with certain ones, you're now, again, creating hierarchy to say this individual player here is greater than this individual player. So I say either one of two things. Either don't retire any numbers and let anyone wear any number, or you gotta justify why you're doing one and not doing the other.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Because now you've already broken the rules, saying it's bigger than just the team. It's an individual.
The Yankees hardly have any numbers left.
So I say this. So I'll say this in all honesty. If you're going to retire it based on a number and a contribution of a player that's done something to a team, damn right. My number should be retired.
Right. Yes.
But if you're saying, hey, we're just not doing it because of whatever, I'm cool with that.
Right.
Don't do any or
We're not cool with it, though.
So I'm telling you. I'm telling everybody. This is the unfiltered,
unauthorized story of
whatever with me.
It's Herman Unfiltered.
Hey, Herman Moore in the third person. Listen.
What are you up to these days, Herm? Tell everybody where they can find you, what you're doing.
Still breaking records in Virginia?
Nah, man, I'm not doing anything as far as breaking records. You know what I love right there, man, is discovering and continuing to do business. No, not every business isn't successful that we do, but, man, just the ability to be able to pivot and do some things that are fun without costing you the farm has been exciting. I'm into liquid manufacturing, where we do a lot of personal care brands. I have my own personal care skin line and brand line, which is doing extremely well.
Where do people find that?
Golden Grooming. So if you go to Golden Grooming.
It's been around for a few years now.
Yeah, it's been around for a while with my partner and I, Madhu, who's out of Austin, Texas, but he's now basically a Michigander. He started Merit Manufacturing, so you can look those guys up and you can see what we do there. Everyone from like Manscaped to Native, if you're familiar with those products, do all those right here in Michigan. 100,000 square foot facility, doing tremendous things there. And then also I do a lot of branding. We do content creation, so you'll see us with Lions Nation Unite, which is you can go to lionsnationunite.com and see what we've been doing there. You can check us out on YouTube.
Awesome.
We do a lot of content creation. We've been great friends with Woodward Sports and those things. So we look to bring those communities together. So there's a lot of things I do from a holding company, and everyone always go, man, you're doing too much. I go, no. I acquire, I buy, I build,
right,
and then I operate at different companies. We have our own different employees at each company, and everywhere I'm always going to be doing something different.
That's awesome.
I'm entrepreneurial, man.
That's awesome,
and I do it because I can, and because life is too short, and you have to love life, man, enjoy it. So, like doing this, the energy you feel in me, man, it's real.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And what is there to be mad about? I mean, there's a lot of bad in this world, man, but you have to be able to network. I'm doing something that's in the same space as you guys, but I'll come on anytime that you guys want.
And vice versa.
It's big enough for everyone because we're out there serving up the people, man.
There's enough food out there, right? We all got to eat.
We'll break bread, and when you guys are ready to have some of those adult beverages, and we do it in a safe way, or some cigars, man, I'm ready to have that show with you as well.
Before you leave, this Lions team does what this year?
This Lions team is going to have to fight. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and let's set the stage so we can set some realistic expectations. Last year was last year. Mm-hmm. This year, teams got better.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately, teams in the NFC North got better. Chicago is better. Minnesota is going to be better. They're bringing players back that were injured. They're doing some things that they have to prove why they still should be good in the NFC North. You have Green Bay. They're better. We saw them getting better during the year. So for the Lions right now, there is no giving, just even in their division. So then when you break it out beyond that, the collapse that we saw with Philadelphia's going to come back. They have to get some things together.
They got Saquon this year, too.
Or they're going to just completely go over. You got you start looking at the Dallas Cowboys. You got San Francisco. You still Seattle. You still have a tough NFC North Conference. The Lions aren't given a pass. You don't get a pass back to the NFC Championship game to go to the Super Bowl because you were a previous year participant.
You know about that.
So even just to win this division, just to get into playoffs is going to be, I think, a tough goal for this team, but not impossible. I think they can get back to an opportunity in the playoffs and postseason, but they got to stay healthy. This team's got to stay consistent. Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, all these guys, they got to call them up and dial them up right. The players are going to have to play.
Right.
Period. It ain't easy to come back.
And it's not easy. So speculation, I say this. I'm not going to speculate other than if you want me to give you just a small prediction. I think they get into postseason. How they get in there is irrelevant to me. Do they get a bye? Do they get home field? That doesn't matter, right? I think they make postseason, but I think it's a fight after that.
Yep.
And I just think, if they get any key injuries right now, it's going to really set them back in a place where it's going to be hard to overcome. Short season.
One of the greatest Lions to ever wear that uniform, number 84, Herman Moore. Herm, thanks so much.
Always a pleasure,
we appreciate
it, man. You guys
keep
up the great work, man.
All the best.
Appreciate you guys.
Love you, man.
The greatest.
See y'all.
Herman Moore. We are going to take a break. When we come back, more from the Calvin Johnson Jr. Foundation charity golf outing here at the Detroit Golf Club. We will see you. But first, a message from Swiss.
Talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Yeah, what's good, man? How you doing? What you got for me today?
Let's have a look, man.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard.
Corner, jumper.
Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. They offer the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. Located in Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. And if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, where they have been on Michigan Avenue for over 55 years. You could find the brand you want. All 4 GM brands now under one umbrella. Chevy, Cadillac, Buick, GMC, LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com. Together, let's drive. And you could drive on over to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Several locations across the Metro Detroit area, several more around the country. No matter where you are watching from, there is a Lady Jane's near you. No appointment necessary. You can walk in anytime. Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And we are coming to you live from the Detroit Golf Club in beautiful Detroit, Michigan, just outside of the Palmer Park area.
That's all Detroit here.
That's right. Ryan Ermanni, Tom Mazaway, Braylon out on the course. It is the Calvin Johnson Jr. Foundation Celebrity Golf Tournament. This is the second year for the Catching Dreams weekend that Calvin has done, but the 17th year of his foundation overall, Maz. And it's a great thing. We just had an opportunity to talk to Herman Moore, and one of the great things about that, Maz, is we do talk about this every August.
We do.
I never want to see another player wear 84. I never want to see another player wear 75. I never want to see another player wear 54.
20.
I just don't want to see it.
Yeah.
You don't see a 20.
Right.
But
there was
just
two
don't,
greats,
right.
3 greats that wore
Right.
20.
I just don't want to see it, you know?
I'm with you, man. Hey, the Yankees do it right.
Yeah.
They hardly have any single-digit numbers
Right.
remaining. And 99, of course, will go into lure, probably the next number that gets
Right.
retired. But the Lions are starting to do it right. So let's give them a chance here. They're starting to get their ducks in a row. Herman goes on that Pride of the Lions without a question.
All right, let me ask you this.
I was going to ask him what 3 players belong up there.
Well,
I didn't want to put the pressure on.
Yeah, that's right. Either way, but let me ask you this. And one of the things that I said to Herman was, I think in the last 40 years, Herman Moore is one of the great. If you said 5 of the greatest Lions in the last 40 years, okay?
Yes, go ahead.
I think Herman Moore is on that list.
I know he is.
And, you know, you go Barry, Calvin, Lomas.
Herman,
Matt Stafford.
Robert Porsche?
Yeah, he's probably up there.
Where's Robert Porsche in there?
Porsche is probably the next level down.
But I
would
mean,
say.
legitimately, like, what guy am I missing? Since 1984, okay, the last 40 years, name me the 5 greatest Lions.
Well, Billy Sims.
Yeah.
And Billy Sims, by the way, you know, and honestly, Billy Sims had a really, really short career.
I know, but
you know, I mean,
he was going to be it.
I understand, but he had a really short career. And I love Billy Sims and Boomer Sooner, and no disrespect at all, but, you know, 5 greatest Lions since 1984, the last 40 years.
Jason Hansen.
Yeah, he's up there.
And yeah, okay.
I know it's a kicker.
Yeah, no, okay.
But he's the greatest kicker in Lions history.
Okay, but nonetheless.
All right. Did you put Spielman on that list?
Yes, I did.
All right.
Did I?
54.
Did I put it?
Spielman is one of my
Barry,
all-time favorite players, regardless of what he's looked at in the NFL.
Barry, Calvin, Lomas, Herman,
and Spielman, right?
Stafford, Spielman.
Oh,
I'd put Spielman before Stafford.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would.
Stafford's a Hall of Famer.
Stafford
could be in the Hall of Fame.
I have no issues with Matthew Stafford. I love him.
Right.
Yeah.
No issues.
Yeah. I mean, so again, though, we're splitting hairs, though, basically, is what we're saying.
Right.
We're splitting hairs. You're talking about 5 or 6. You're talking about 5 or 6. Whatever you want, you send him over whenever he's ready.
And Ndamukong Suh as well. Again, short career.
Again, short career. We're talking about some of the great Lions of all time. So
I think we hit it. I think we hit it on the money.
Pretty much.
We're gonna get Calvin momentarily.
When we do, we'll take a quick break.
You want to take a break? And then
when we do, when he's on his way over.
Okay, great. So he's. Yeah, I'm going to break right now. We'll come back in a minute or two, and we'll have Calvin Johnson. He's just tied up right now. He's going to join us in 2 minutes. We'll have that for you.
Message from Guardian.
A message from Guardian.
All right. When the bad guys come to your house, Guardian wants you to say one thing. Stay out.
Look at Kenny G on the fly.
Right,
Look
man.
Look at Kenny G on the fly.
Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. They've been around for numerous amounts of years. They want to keep you safe, but only if you call the number 1-800 Stay out. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard.
Corner, jumper,
Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
We are coming to you live from the Detroit Golf Club and the Calvin Johnson Jr. Foundation Celebrity Golf Weekend, really. It's the Catching Dreams Weekend. This is the culmination of that. What a weekend it is, including a moment earlier today. Calvin Johnson announced that he's going to be inducted into the Pride of the Lions on September 30th, Monday Night Football against the Seattle Seahawks. Calvin, first of all, what was that moment like? Did you have an inkling that was coming? Was it a surprise? How did you feel about it?
Yeah, that was a true surprise. I could tell something was going on. Everybody, I saw my family around. The energy was weird. So I was like, y'all acting like y'all old or something. But no, I had no idea coming into it. So I figured when Mike said that he had a surprise, I figured it might be making some kind of nice donation to the foundation. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
That would have been nice too.
That would have been great, But no, that was a pleasant surprise.
That's awesome.
Which one was more of a surprise, that or when they came knocking at your door for the Hall of Fame?
The Hall, 100%.
That was fun to watch.
But that caught me in the middle of I was finalizing my speech in my head, and it just hit me in the face. So the speech was out the window.
That's awesome, man.
Calvin, when you talk about, this weekend and all the work that goes into it, and we, even us dorks, Maz and I are just dorks over here. We're looking around. We're like, oh, there's Lomas Brown. Oh,
Charles Haley.
David Pollock. Oh, there's Kenny Mayne. It's like the roster of celebs that are here is awesome. And just how humbling is it for you? I'm sure you make that call and guys just willingness to come and be a part of it.
No, it's awesome, man. You have all those stars. You got Hall of Famers, Randy Moss, Torrey Holt, all the guys that are coming out. And it's just, it's
Ricky Williams.
Ricky Williams, graces with his presence for the camp, man. It's just having these guys just say, yes, we do stuff together. We see each other, at different events. And, me having this event now is just a way to bring together my favorite guys from that I watched growing up.
Like they were sitting at a locker in the room, just sitting there chopping it up.
That's exactly what was going on. Charles Haley over there probably talking mad cash over there to Lomas Brown, talking about how he whipped his ass back in the day. I know it. I know that's how Charles get down.
Talk to me about just the weekend too. You've had this foundation for coming up on 2 decades now, I believe 17 years, and all of the great work that you have put in the communities here in Detroit and of course in Atlanta. A lot goes into that, and a lot of good gets done.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we started the weekend with the scholarship gala. That's what really a lot of this is for, to be able to provide the scholarships that we do. We used to alternate between Atlanta and Detroit. Now we're able to do it in both places because of what we're doing and the funds that we're raising here with the scholar or with the golf outing. So all those all those funds are being put to good use, primarily for the scholarships. And then there's a ton of other initiatives that we take place throughout the year, whether it's feeding homeless, taking care of abused families, and working with different church programs between Atlanta and Detroit. So it's just humbling to be able to have the support that we're getting.
Hey, does Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have something planned out for you to come on out and talk to the guys? Camp's coming up here. First of all, do you miss camp?
Hell no.
Okay. Are you going to come out and check out the guys? What do you expect out of them this year?
If we can stay healthy, we can.
That's everybody, right?
We can. That's everybody. That's everybody's, plight. But if we can stay healthy, you can have high expectations. I feel like last year we went to that season we had a little bit of a role, with the way the division looked. But this year is just like, shit, we can play with anybody, as long as we stay healthy.
How fun is it to be a part of this organization too when they're good? We, just as football fans, we've been here our whole lives. It's like, man, you're finally good. It's like a sustained level of, Super Bowl caliber team.
Just say what it is. We're an NFL team. Right. Okay? We are an NFL team.
Well, I would say this, an NFL organization.
Yes.
Just that we've had teams in the past.
Of course.
But
the 90s, 2014, so on.
The elongated level of success seems sustainable here.
Yeah, consistency. You're getting a lot of consistency, it seems like, from Dan. We know what Dan's going to bring, that level of consistency that he brought from being a professional player for probably a decade or more. And we're going to get that in a different way. I think that the energy that he's bringing here to Detroit is contagious. He's surrounded himself with a lot of talent. He wasn't afraid to bring in great talent in his assistant coaches, and that's paying off. Guys are buying in. I bought in because I had an actual player coach. He's been to the places that I want to go. He's done a lot of the things that I wanted to do. So I'm like, okay, let me buy in. He's been there. He has a plethora of experience, gained experience that I want to learn from, and I was able to do that, and I was able to have the career I was able to have. And I feel like these guys are in a similar position where they have so many player coaches. If they just buy in, they'll be able to have the career that they want to have, and hopefully bring a title to this town.
After all the work this weekend and the week leading up to it and the weeks and the months leading up to it and all the interviews and all the shaking hands and kissing babies, do you sleep for a week after this weekend? Or
After this week, man, we look forward to it. All my siblings, we always take a trip, and just because all the planning, the hard part of the summer is over.
Right.
All the planning, work, and all that. We get hours back. And now we're able to go and, enjoy it. So I look forward to us getting out of town and going and chilling by the beach, by the pool. Yeah.
You staying in the country?
Yeah. Yeah. My little sister's a little mad about that. We didn't stay in the country last year.
Everyone I know is going to Europe, going here. I'm like, I'll just go to the Jersey Shore. I'm happy.
Go to send me to Wyoming with no TV, no internet.
Absolutely, man.
Hey, last question for you. You've been so gracious with your time all week and every time we see you. The Receiver documentary on Netflix. Would you ever want to have a camera follow you around like that, like it's following Amon-Ra or Justin Jefferson or anything like that?
Bro, I just found out about this a couple of days ago. I saw it on a commercial or something, so I'm not caught up like that. But is it following them like during practice or just daily life?
Every day.
Every day, all day.
Nah, I'm not necessarily super private, but I just like my space. I'm a homebody.
Right.
I ain't about to have no cameras, no people I don't know in my home.
Yeah, if you want to watch me watch TV, sit at home.
I don't want you following me on the golf course. I mean, if you want to follow me on the snowboard, that's cool, because I'm going to lose you. Like,
there you go.
You can try.
The great Calvin Johnson.
I got one last one.
All right, one last one.
Will the jinx end against the Dallas Cowboys? Because if you go back all the way to 1991, when we beat the Cowboys in that playoff. Since then, anytime the Lions are forced to go to Dallas, I'm not going to tell you about 2014. And I don't got to tell you about last year.
Yep.
And they got to go again this year. When is it going to end?
When they tamed them zebras.
Yeah. Ain't that something?
That's
That's something, boy. They got you running wild out there.
The great Calvin Johnson, Hall of Famer, going into the Pride of the Lions September 30th as well. Calvin, thanks so much for everything you do in the community.
Appreciate it, Ron.
For
thanks,
us
Cal.
as well, both at
you.
Fox 2 and Woodward Sports. One of the greats here. And if you'd like to make a donation to Calvin's charity foundation or just donate your time, just go to Calvin Johnson Jr. Foundation.com. All the information is there if you'd like to help out at any point. We'll take a break, come right back. More of Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Edwards on the course.
Yep. Johnson instead.
We'll be right back.
Seen and heard. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
To any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
To any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
You have an opinion? opinion, make sure it's seen and heard.
Corner, jumper,
Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Masway. Edwards still out on the course. We are expected to be joined by him, depending upon how well he's playing. That's what I think. I think we'll see Braylon if he plays well.
We got Jalen Rose right there.
Jalen Rose right there. Absolutely.
What's up, Jay Rose?
Jalen Rose, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, Jay.
So we'll see Braylon if, in fact, he's winning this thing or not. Right?
He might. He's always shooting good. You know that.
And if he's not shooting good, I guarantee you he's the best dressed guy out on the
Oh,
court.
there's no question. He's up there.
He will look better than anybody else.
He looks good.
Edwards.
He looks good in sweats. Quite out loud.
Tom Masway along. We're coming to you live from the Detroit Golf Club. It is Calvin Johnson Jr. Foundation.
This is like being in Hollywood for me.
Well,
honestly, this is better than Hollywood for me.
Who are you most excited to see today?
Well, I love seeing Calvin all the time.
And
I love Herman. I love Lomas. Those are my guys.
Those guys. Right.
I was really excited when I saw Kenny Mayne, to be perfectly honest with you. I loved Kenny Mayne. And he was, that's SportsCenter.
Right.
Dan Patrick.
Right.
Chris Berman. Those guys. That was my ESPN that I grew up with.
Right.
And Kenny Mayne, man, one of the greats. His slapstick, the way he just deadpans you. I just love those. I'm the broadcaster guy. You know that. If a broadcaster walks by me, I'm like, oh, God.
You know what's
that's my
great,
guy.
too, is like this is such a community family event, too.
Yeah.
Like, Allen Robinson's mom is over here. You know, Allen Robinson.
That who you were hugging up on?
Yeah,
I'll be damned.
You know, I mean, it's filled with, community, and it's filled with family, and it's filled with just all-out goodness, right?
Hell yeah. And everyone's in a good mood.
Except the guy that got hit with a golf ball.
Exactly. He's got the ice
okay
bag.
over there?
He's got it right.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. Golf ball to the head on a hot day like today. Oh, my gosh.
But are we under this beautiful tent? This is where to be.
I know.
This is the place to be.
About it. It is pretty good to be here.
Hey, let me ask you something about the weekend. I went Friday night, saw the Dodgers. Me and Pete went. We went and saw the Tigers and Dodgers. We saw Scooble pitch really well. Not his best day, but very well. And they stake him to a lead. Dodgers came back.
Scooble, by the way, how is he not the All-Star starter?
Because he started the other day.
But it's 5 days. That's why I thought it would be perfect.
Well, he pitched Friday, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It's 3 days.
Oh,
yeah.
3 days.
Never mind.
I'd rather him not start.
Okay.
If he doesn't even throw a pitch,
no.
I'm okay.
He pitched Friday, right?
Yeah, pitched
so
Friday.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is the fifth day.
No, it's the fourth day. Anyway, it was a great game.
It's the fourth day.
Great game to see Shohei, and it goes to extras. They lose. It's okay. Actually, it finished in the ninth. The next day, what they do, 5 runs down going into the ninth. 2 outs. They tie it, and they win it. Colt Keith ties the damn game. Kirk Gibson tells Dan Dickerson, who was doing the game on TV that day, hey, Colt's going to come up. He's just got to groove one, take it inside. Whatever Kirk Gibson said, the first pitch, Colt Keith takes it out.
Right. Yep.
And then they win it on an Urshela pinch hit home run. Because they brought Urshela in the ninth inning.
They just needed a sac fly to hit the home run, right?
Hit the home run. And then yesterday, a bunt-off win. A bunt-off win against the mighty Dodgers. So they come in and they win the last 3 series, 2 against the Guardians and Dodgers, and they put themselves right there. They're 4 games under 500, and right there.
3 games.
3 games under, right there, even better.
7 games. They're 47-50 at the All-Star break. 7 games out of the wild card spot, and I think on Friday or Thursday when we did the show, in advance of the series against the
Dodgers,
maybe it wasn't Thursday. It was in advance of the series with the Guardians.
Got it.
Where they
had
was a
4
against the Guardians and 3 against the Dodgers. We said if they can win 2. Oh, he was just talking about this guy. Who were you just talking about? Gibby! He literally was just talking about you. He was literally just talking about you.
I was just bragging about you.
Let me have a headset real quick.
I got you.
Let me have a headset. We were just talking about you. He was just.
Trust me, I heard it.
He was just bragging about you. He said whatever you said on Saturday.
You said Colt Keith is going to take one inside. He's going to groove it, and this game is going to be tied.
I said he's going to throw him a cutter, pull your hands in. It's not easy to do.
What's it like to be in that booth and to see an epic comeback like that, Gibby? I mean, we're just sitting there watching at home, and it's like an incredible feeling.
It is, and that's what, if I could wish one thing that they would get out of this, because there's a lot of failure, is to experience what they did the last two games.
Oh.
Yeah.
They got the Dodgers. The Dodgers came in there. They've been in the playoffs for 11 years. We lost. We played good. And the next night we came back and payoff was a bitch.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
And they did it again on Sunday.
I
mean, it happened yesterday. But, when you evaluate players, you've got Baez and you've got McKinstry.
Yeah.
Baez has more ability, athletic. He's got a longer career. McKinstry, not so. But you just look at how teams play with McKinstry. I'm not saying Baez doesn't play hard. They swept Cincinnati. They beat the Guardians.
Yep.
3 out of 4.
And now they got the Tigers.
2 out of 3.
How about the double play to set up the 10th inning? Colt Keith, unbelievable. That made my life.
Bunt get down in the game.
Right.
Let alone 2 bunts.
Right.
That's great.
To a pitcher who just totally panicked.
He did.
That young kid just picked it up and fired it.
He slipped
Gibby,
first.
let me ask
he
you
slipped
about
all right.
that.
It's called rushing.
Yep.
You talk about the sweep against Cincinnati.
Who just swept the Yankees prior to that.
Taking 3 of 4 against Cleveland and taking 2 of 3 against the Dodgers. Does that change what Scott Harris potentially might have thought 2 weeks ago at the trade deadline? Or is this now all about what happens the first 15 games? You've got 3 against Toronto and then 12 in a row against
winning
Central
teams.
Division teams.
Yeah, well, let me just – if I was Scott Harris, I would sign Skubal and I would sign Flaherty.
Right now.
Because if Flaherty is signed – okay, this is me sitting in the booth. We're sitting on the golf course, so it's easy.
Right.
Correct.
It's not our money.
There's a lot of other things that go into
Right,
that. I want to be fair to Scott.
Sure, no doubt.
Because he's doing a good job.
Absolutely.
It's starting to show up. But I would say if you sign Flaherty to 2 or 3 years, he's going to be worth more on the trade market than he is the way with only remaining half a year.
Exactly.
But if you had Flaherty and you had Skubal to start out your rotation, and the pitching has been ahead of the hitting for the most part this year. 8 innings of scoreless ball yesterday. They've got it. They're making improvements. The players are starting to understand what controlling the zone is on both sides. Anyway, I got to go, man.
You do?
All right, Gibbs.
Get out of here, Gibby. I can talk
I'll
about
see you during
all
the
day.
week.
Thanks for sitting here, buddy.
I got to watch a whole game with him last week, and
Really?
I told Drew. I went online. I'm like, that was like magic.
I just talked to Drew, but I can't. I'm not gonna be able to tell you anything. You got too big of a mouth.
Okay.
Hey, Gibby. Last thing. Now, when you leave the ballpark, do you say to Oral Hershiser, "We got you this time," or how does that go?
Well, I enjoyed being with Oral. He's smart, but yeah, we got him.
I love you, Gibby.
See you,
You're the
Gibby.
greatest.
Cause for Calvin here. Thanks.
Absolutely.
We love you, man.
The great Kirk Gibson, one of the most famous Detroit athletes of all time, Kirk Gibson, and of course had some fun playing the Dodgers this week, right?
I know, his number 2 team.
Oral Hershiser in the next booth
I
next
know.
to Gibby.
Isn't
How
that
great is that?
How about Dan doing the game on Saturday night on television? Fantastic, by the way. Love you, Dan. And then he comes back, and we got great announcers in this season.
Let me
we
just
got
say
great
this about,
announcers.
Let me say this about Dan Dickerson, because, and I saw this on X. It was the video call of the Urshela home run.
Yes.
And one of the special parts about that is Dan Dickerson was doing television.
Yes.
I guarantee you he changed his call for television than opposed to radio.
Yeah.
Because you need less words
Correct.
on television than you need to use on the radio
Less
and
description.
describe everything. And
That's how good he
I
is.
can't tell you, if you're sitting at home, how difficult and how nuanced that approach is. To be able to interchange a television home run call and a radio home run call.
Yep.
I'm not sure if you could fully appreciate how special that is. It's just the next level broadcaster right there,
He
Dan
is.
Dickerson.
I'm so proud that he's my friend, and
Yeah.
I talk to him all the time, every day. I compliment him. He always asks me, how did I do today? Blah, blah,
Right.
blah. He's so damn good that Greg Gagne, who does the radio call when Dan's not there, sounds like Dan. He has all the Dan-isms in his call. He's very good.
Right.
But it sounds like, if you didn't pay attention, you would think that's Dan doing the call on radio. That's how good Dickerson is.
You know, part of that too, because when you're growing up and you see, you know, who you want to be, right? I mean, you see who you want to be, and a lot of guys aren't fortunate to do games in their hometown. You know, Greg, I'm sure, born and raised here, listen to Dan Dickerson his whole life.
No doubt.
If he goes and does the Cincinnati Reds or the St. Louis Cardinals or the Cleveland Guardians or something, it's fresh for us. You know
for
what I
them.
mean?
He's going to be very good.
Because you emulate what you know.
Correct.
Right? Like, you know.
Chris Berman emulated Howard Cosell because that was his guy.
Yeah.
And Howard was my guy. So that's why I loved Chris Berman, who I just absolutely loved what he did. Some people thought he was over the top. You know, that's fine.
Right.
But he was that's why I love my broadcasters.
What right? Like and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here, but maybe Dan Miller will tell you this. But Dan Miller's touchdown Detroit Lions, is he grew up in the Washington D.C.
Redskins.
area in Virginia. The play-by-play man of the Washington Redskins at the time used to say, touchdown, Washington Redskins.
Yep.
So Dan Miller says, touchdown, Detroit Lions.
And I know who it is. I just can't think of his name right now.
But again, that's a new call for us here.
Correct.
But if he was doing those games, you can't take that call.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
But that's just how it works. So no disrespect at all to Greg on the radio
No.
if he sounds like Dan Dickerson.
That's an honor.
I just thought that nuance in the call on TV and radio is so perfect, I can't even tell you.
I love this guy that just was here.
Gibby?
I just love this guy. And beat Parky, man. Beat Parkinson's syndrome. Beat it.
Yes.
Go to the Kirk Gibson Foundation and donate as well. I know we're here for Calvin Johnson, but we got to beat Parkinson's as well.
And, one of the things, too, about, Gibby is, and I've done stories with Gibby in the past, it's you've got to keep moving, right?
And
you've
he
got
does.
to keep moving. And
Each other. It's me and Drew against Gibby and Rosebud. So they got us the last time, but we'll get a rematch coming up here in a few weeks.
that is fantastic.
Gibby could throw it.
Hey, one of the things, too, just getting back to some Tigers talk now as we approach. Talk about those. So you sweep the Reds, you take 3 or 4 from the Guardians, and then
you win the series.
against the Dodgers, KG. It has to at least change what you're thinking at the deadline. I really believe that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when you look at their schedule coming up, 12 of their next 15 are AL Central games.
Right.
So they have a lot of chance. They have a chance to make up a lot of ground.
They control their destiny.
Pretty much, man.
They do.
So if the Tigers are for real and they buy into them at least a little bit, we could see possibly a wild card team at the end of the season.
I mean, can you imagine at the end of this 15 games, again, 3 at Toronto, and then I think you've got Cleveland and Minnesota, actually.
And Cleveland's going to want to beat your ass, by the way.
No doubt.
You just
You got
took
the
them
Royals,
out.
too.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. But again, if you, heaven forbid, are 10-5 after that 15,
Yeah.
if you're 9-6 even, a game under 500, and you're around 5-6 games, that's,
You got to pull another hitter up here for them.
Yeah.
You got to get another hitter up here. Hey, another arm would not help, would not hurt as well. Another arm, but they're not easy to get. Now, we got a lot of guys coming up. I'd say start giving up the prospects and give me a major league bat.
the problem is with a lot of this, if you just look at the National League, okay, I think there are only 3 teams
that are out of it,
that are more than 4 games back.
Isn't that something?
So you just have to decide if you're a team, what kind of team you want to be. Are you a buyer or a seller? I don't think you stand pat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think you stand pat. I think you either go for it or you give up. You go for it or you give up. I think if you stand pat, you're getting worse.
They're not standing pat. They're going to do something. And I love what Gibby said. Sign Skubal, sign Flaherty, shucks out. But that's all you got to stay the course. And I was the first guy to say it. Hey, I wish they got J.D. Martinez beginning of this year. Scott Harris said, look, we're not getting those veterans to take away bats from our young guys. And now you see Colt Keith come up. You see these young kids, Wenzel Perez. They've got it. Garcia. They've got a nice team, build around it, and get better.
Just imagine if Torque wasn't in AAA.
Absolutely.
Right
it's
now.
a shame.
It's a
31
shame.
homers last year to falling off the cliff this year. Let's hope that he can get it back.
And how about this? I don't think you can undersell the fact that they took a first baseman last night.
Yep.
You took you have a number 1 overall player in Spencer Torkelson that you took in 2020.
Yeah.
And 4 years later, with your 11th pick in the draft, you took another first baseman.
Well, he's a shortstop.
Is he a shortstop?
Yes, he's a shortstop.
Okay.
And a pitcher.
Yep.
Okay.
The second guy was a pitcher as well.
That's right.
Lefty.
That's right. I apologize about that.
Okay.
I don't know what I was thinking.
No, it's
but
okay. They have other first basemen down below that are getting better.
Yeah.
You just got to hope that Torque can find it again.
If he ain't up by September, it's over.
Not really.
You don't think so?
No.
This is not this regime's guy, though. I don't think they'll stay the course.
I understand. But he was a power hitter in college. He hit 31 home runs in the major leagues last year. I don't think that I just can't see that disappearing. I can't. This ain't Chris Shelton.
Either way, in Torkelson aside, this team needs a bat.
Yeah.
Whether it's Torque or whether it's somebody else. And I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't know where you get that bat from without giving something up of significance.
I say you give away prospects. People like to deal us prospects. It's about time that maybe we deal prospects and get a guy that's ready to come here and help us. Don't forget, Jake Rogers is the only guy left from that Verlander deal. The Mets next year, how good they're playing right now, the Mets, next year is when they really hit the jackpot from Max Scherzer's deal and Justin Verlander's deal because they got bona fide guys that are this close to coming up to the majors.
Yeah.
That's what the Tigers got to do.
One of the things Kirk Gibson said as well when we were just talking to him, and again, talking, at a locker room setting, right? With
it's easy.
Just as a couple of guys. Do right now, sign Skubal and sign Flaherty. And Flaherty would have more trade value probably in a couple of years.
But you don't have to trade him. He might be a good arm for you.
Well, that's what I'm saying,
exactly.
depending upon what happens. But I'd lock Skubal up right now. I'd lock
going
Flaherty
anywhere.
up either.
It's not going anywhere.
Seeing that Flaherty's on a 1-year deal, you don't think it would maybe be a good idea to trade him and then try to re-sign him in the offseason?
Not if you're trying to go for it this year.
Yeah.
Not if you're trying to go for it this year. And what are you going to get for a guy that's not under contract?
Yeah,
and that's the point. Like, why are we trading Jack Flaherty
for prospects
when you are that close from literally being a fringe playoff team?
True.
If you go on, and we've seen crazier things happen, right?
Just make the dance.
I mean,
they have the pitching to win.
The Atlanta Braves a couple of years ago traded out an entire new outfield.
They did.
They were under 500 and won the World Series.
Yes.
The Arizona Diamondbacks, I believe, were under 500 last
year.
They were
a wild card team
at the All-Star break and went on to win the World Series. Not make the playoffs. I'm talking about winning the World Series.
They finished second.
Yeah.
They lost to the Rangers.
Okay,
lost
making the World Series.
They went Game 7.
Yeah.
They went to 7 games.
So, it's one of those things. You're in baseball and you get in and you have the pitching staff that the Tigers have. I think it is something you absolutely have to consider. What am I legitimately getting for this starting pitcher that is not under contract? You've got him for 3 months. Mm-hmm. Are you going to give me a high-level prospect from your organization? And
absolutely not.
I'm not.
Listen, when the Yankees traded Chapman, Aroldis Chapman, they traded him at the deadline to the Cubs. Cubs won the World Series that year, first time in over 100 years. But they had to deal with him. You're coming back to us in free agency, which he did. And then the Yankees wind up getting 2 players that still play on this team. So if you have a deal like that with Flaherty and you don't think you got the guns to win it this year, I'd be okay if he'd come back.
For him. Don't let him walk for free.
But don't forget, Flaherty's got some back issues. And he's had 2 shots in that back. And they're trying to keep them together. So remember that as you go forward here. But Chris Fetter really got this guy back on the ball. And he is a very, very good pitcher, averaging about 7 strikeouts a game. So I'd like to keep him and add, but if it don't happen, I'm okay.
Let me get to another guy that is a starting pitcher that is headed to the All-Star game. I thought he would start the game, as Maz, you pointed out correctly. Yep. It would be 4 days rest. He's not going to start the All-Star game, and I'm just fine with that. He'll probably see an inning or two.
It's 3 days rest, and you're pitching on the fourth day.
Exactly. Tarek Skubal caught up with Johnny Kane on Bally Sports Detroit, talking about heading off to the All-Star break.
Very exciting, and we were able to talk to Riley before the game. We didn't talk to you since it was your start day, but to be able to be known as an All-Star game representative, what does it mean to you personally?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. The players kind of voted me in, so it's cool to get that recognition from, not only fans, but also the players that play in this league. So it's pretty special, and for it to be my first one, and enjoy it with Greeny and his being his first one too, I look forward to it.
What do you think the reaction will be from your brothers?
Yeah, it'll be pretty special. I can't wait to call them. So, it'll be cool. Brothers, family, friends, all that stuff, all the support that I've got, throughout my career. It's those moments I think are really special for them. I don't think they understand how special it is for me that they support me like that. So, it'll be fun.
What was it like to learn the news with your teammates? And then, of course, you had to shift focus to your start. But how was this morning when you learned the news with?
Yeah, it's always cool. It's always cool. You try to kind of hide the emotion, but it's special, to be announced in front of the team and these guys that you go to battle with every day and you pull for, and they pull for me, and they got my back just as much as I got theirs. So that stuff is really special to me.
You feel like the players did right by Riley getting him into, and what's it going to be like for you guys doing that together?
For sure, yeah, for sure. I think he deserved it. He plays every day. What's he had, one game off this year? He plays every day, and it's special stuff what he can do against left-handed pitching, right-handed pitching. It doesn't matter. I'm glad he's on my team so I don't have to pitch to him. So, he deserves it.
Last one. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of guys that will be excited to meet you when you get to Texas. Is there anybody in particular or that maybe you haven't met through the game that you're looking forward to meeting?
That's a good question. I need to look at the roster. Let me look at the roster, and then I'll have a better. If you were telling me to say one, the easy answer is all of them, right? But I'm excited for that whole. Just to mingle, ask questions, talk shop, talk pitching, talk approach, all that stuff. Just kind of see where guys are at, and it's going to be fun. But to say one, I need to look at everybody, and
he's not a pitcher,
once they announce,
he's not a pitcher, but Aaron Judge, you guys had that little interaction on the field.
Yeah, obviously. He's one of the best players in the game. So just to be in his presence, I think is special. He's a really good player, and he's going to be a good player for a long, long time. So that'll be cool to meet him.
And that was Tarek Skubal with Johnny Kane.
I like
on
Johnny.
Sport Detroit.
Johnny's he's a hard worker.
Absolutely. Love Johnny Kane. He is a great worker, and he's really good at his job.
He is.
Big fan of Johnny Kane. I will say this. Tarek Skubal is having one heck of a year. He is the odds-on favorite to win the Cy Young Award. He is the most dominant pitcher for the Tigers.
Out of the University of Seattle.
Right?
What is he, a ninth-round draft pick?
It is incredible how people can develop, and that's one of those where you just got lucky, perhaps, right? You just got lucky with a player with a lot of drive, had the Tommy John, and it's like a player's career doesn't start until they have the Tommy John.
Isn't that something
right?
now? That's something now. That's a new thing. Matter of fact, Shohei Ohtani had a different type of Tommy John surgery. I forgot what they call it. But word on the street is he wants to try to pitch again next year. Do you even mess with him?
No.
Or do you just leave him alone?
I let him do whatever.
You want him to pitch again?
I want him to do whatever he wants to do.
He's so freaking good.
Let me ask you, did Riley Green have Tommy John?
He did on his non-throwing elbow.
That's right.
Yes, on his non-throwing elbow.
The two Tigers All-Stars both had Tommy John.
Good call. And Riley Green's locked in, by the way.
Absolutely.
They say he can't hit lefties. He gets up the other day, first pitch off a lefty.
He's got a beautiful swing.
Oh, man.
Beautiful swing.
And Gibby loves his swing.
Yeah.
He's like, look how he holds the bat. Look how relaxed he is. He can't miss with that swing.
Right.
He just cannot miss.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Here's Riley Green with Johnny Kane, Bally Sports Detroit, talking about making his first ever All-Star game appearance.
Not his last.
What do you think your parents' reaction, your sister, the family, everybody that has supported you along the way? What do you think it means to them?
They're going to be excited. They were all talking about it at the start of the season. I'm like, guys, we haven't even started the season yet. But no, they're going to be excited. I know they're going to be proud, so it's cool.
I know you handle your business, like a professional ball player, but personal accolades come along when you put in the work and you get the results. How much satisfaction is it in knowing that you have achieved all-star status?
Yeah, it's awesome. Just showing up every day, trying to help a team win, and good things happen. So.
What was it like watching the fan voting along the way, and then were you nervous, kind of wondering, hey, am I going to be able to get in without fan voting? What was all that like for you as this process went along?
To be honest, I didn't really pay attention to any of the voting. I was just playing baseball. Yeah, that was it, really.
Is it something you've thought about, I know you said maybe your family talked about it, but you don't get into baseball necessarily trying to chase achievements necessarily or accolades, but being an all-star means you're one of the best players in the game. So I wonder has that been something that you sought out to accomplish when you got into the game of to be able to play at an all-star level?
I just think, being named that is, just something that shows that you're doing the right things, you're helping your team win, you're playing well, and, it's just like an honor and it just kind of shows what you've been doing.
Is it cool that you get to go with Tarek?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. We hugged each other, so that was a pretty cool moment.
It was still pretty fresh, but anything you're looking forward to in particular about the experience, about being there and meeting other guys, or
probably just meeting all the guys. Being able to have my family there, and just see some familiar faces over there.
Did you have to cancel any All-Star break plans?
I did. I was gonna surprise my parents, and I was gonna show up at home on Sunday night, but I have another surprise for them, so it's cool.
When it comes to this season as a whole so far, what do you kind of attribute the success to, and what does it mean to be able to put in the work and then get rewarded like this?
Just going out every day, just trying to help the team win, whatever I can do to help the team, and just showing up every single day and just putting the work in, really.
Do you know what the media responsibilities are going to be like when you get to Texas? It's going to be a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, but I think you guys prepared me for that. I guess that's the right answer to say. So.
And that is Riley Green, Tigers All-Star, on his way to be in his first All-Star game. Said he was going to go home on Sunday night and surprise his parents, but this is a surprise in another way. I want to thank Johnny Kane, Bally Sports Detroit, for that. But, Maz, this is a player that we always talk about, who you see these young, great players around the league. Who is the young, great player for the Detroit Tigers? You've got a star there in Riley Green.
There's not a question about it. Not only can he play in the outfield, and they keep him at a center field. There's a reason for that, because he'll go after anything,
right,
and he'll injure himself.
It's a little bit
trying
of
to make any catch.
Career preservation.
He's like Gibby. Remember Gibby back in the day would go after everything.
Only has one speed.
That's it. So they keep him in left field or right field, wherever they want to put him, and keep him on the field because you need that bat. Once he learns to hit lefties as good as he hits righties, there's nothing to stop this guy.
And maybe even one day we'll see him in the home run derby.
You might.
Right? I mean,
although I don't recommend it.
We don't like the home run derby.
I don't like my player going to the home run derby.
We love the home run derby. We don't like it when our own player is in it.
I still have Brandon Inge-itis
I
from
know.
the home run derby.
Here you go. So home run derby tonight, okay? Pete Alonso, Alec Boehm, Gunnar Henderson, Adolis Garcia, Teoscar Hernandez, Marcel Ozuna, Jose Ramirez, and Bobby Witt Jr. Pete Alonso, the two-time winner from the New York Mets. He is the odds-on favorite to win once again. First of all, this format, right? I mean, talk to the.
Why they keep changing it?
It changed again this year, and I really couldn't even tell you the damn format. If you hit a home run 450 feet, they give you an extra. I don't even know what the hell they do. I just know it's too long.
Right.
It bores the living daylights out of me after a while.
Right.
And by the time the two guys are left for the final, they're what?
Yes. No
you
doubt
gotta
about
change it a little bit. I understand you got 3 hours to fill.
Right.
But there's got to be other ways to fill it. There's got to be.
Now,
but if I had to pick a guy tonight to win, I think Alonso gets nipped again.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Bohm. Bohm's not really a home run
Adolis
hitter.
Garcia is my pick.
He could, man. He's a beast.
Yeah.
Gunnar Henderson is the best player out of all of these players.
He's the best
that are in
player.
this.
I agree with you.
That don't make him the best hitter, though.
Now, he's my guy. I love him. He's on all my teams. I pick Gunnar Henderson to win this thing tonight.
Okay. I am going to go Bobby Witt Jr.
Okay.
Not bad.
Okay.
Not bad at all.
I'm going to go Bobby Witt Jr.
Wish he was a Tiger.
So, a couple of things here. Alonso, Garcia, Hernandez, and Ozuna. Okay? Those 4 players swing the bat so freaking hard.
They won't last.
Yes.
Yeah.
That, like, at some point you're out of gas. Gunnar Henderson,
smooth.
First-year player, first time ever in this event. First year, younger player. Let me say that younger player, never been in the home run derby. Will the nerves be there? I just don't see a younger player. I know Bobby Witt Jr.'s young player too, but I just don't see. God, every argument I'm making against Gunnar Henderson is, but there's something very casual about Bobby Witt Jr.
Okay.
And I think you need a casual. He just needs to put the ball over the fence. He doesn't need to hit it 500 feet.
Did we put up the graphic, Pete, of the last 10 years, the winners? If we can, let's pop it up there. The last 10 years, I want to take a look at it. Last year, Pete Alonso ran out of gas, could not finish it. And I'm forgetting who won it. Was it Vladdy who won it last year?
I can't remember.
Was it Vladdy Guerrero? Once Pete puts it up, I can figure it out.
I don't remember.
It was Vlad, right?
Yep.
And Vlad's not even in this year.
Right.
Yeah.
He's scuffling
And
right
Alonso
now.
won in 21 and in
22.
23.
Yeah.
In 21, 22,
I thought he was
or 20.
back-to-back. I thought he was back-to-back. Don't quote me on that.
I think he was.
back-to-back.
20.
Oh, 19 and 21.
19 and 21. Yeah. Yeah.
Because of COVID. So technically,
is.
he's back-to-back, technically. But yeah, 19
So it was
and
Guerrero, Soto, Alonso, Harper, Judge, Stanton, Frazier. Down goes Frazier. And then back-to-back Cespedes back-to-back with him. The Todd father, Todd Frazier.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Guess what I watched last night?
Hold on.
Again. For the 100th time. A movie.
The Godfather.
Oh.
No, not The
Goodfellas.
Godfather.
Ali.
My second favorite.
Casino.
Godfather's my second favorite
Rocky.
movie.
Naming all the mob
Rocky.
movies.
Rocky.
I watched Rocky. And you know what? I'm watching the fight. And I feel like I'm watching it for the first time. Yeah. I swear to God. I'm
And
like,
now it is Creed coming back.
Yes,
Creed
I'm just standing up. I'm just sitting there. So then I let it bleed into Rocky 2. So I get to Rocky 2 and they get to the hospital and I paused it. I'll finish that tonight again.
Oh,
I can't help myself.
You could see that they
You're
filmed
chunky.
Rocky 2 3 years afterwards, and you can see all the weight that Paulie lost.
Oh, Paulie.
Because Paulie is like a
Yes,
fat guy
I
in
know.
Rocky 1, and then he's like this real skinny guy
And you
in
know,
Rocky 2.
and I never really picked up on that.
Yeah.
I just figured, oh, you lost weight. Until you just brought it up. Yeah, it's 3 years later, but it's supposed to be the next day.
That's that night, right?
Yes, supposed to be that night. He lost a lot of weight at the
Just picked
game
up on it.
with his hooker girlfriend. Paid $200 for her. $250.
Well, we know why he lost the weight.
Right? All right, so you've got Gunnar Henderson.
I do.
Bobby Witt Jr., who do you got?
Adolis Garcia.
Adolis Garcia. It's a good pick. Hometown. It's in Texas.
It
Yeah,
is,
man.
It is. Oh, that's a good pick.
Hometown guys never win.
They don't know.
Hometown guys
That's
never
pressure.
win.
though.
That's pressure.
That's fantastic. All right, guys, we'll take a break. Come right back. More from the Calvin Johnson Jr. Celebrity Golf Outing benefiting the Calvin Johnson Jr. Foundation. We will be right back.
All right, but first, let's stop on over at Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. Do not settle for less. Premier Pet Supply, family-owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available. Curbside delivery if you need it. Give them a try right now. PremierPetSupply.com.
Hey, man, and I know y'all looking for some new sports merch. That 08 Red Wings championship shirt is played, man. You need to get you some new merch, and we got you here at WoodwardSports.com and click shop. Hoodies, tees, hats, everything guaranteed to make you look fresh and fit for the games, but only if you go to WoodwardSports.com and click that merch tab.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard.
Corner, jumper,
Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, and if you're looking for the best morning show in town, then we got it for
you.
Right.
Look at KG, man.
All right. You know I'm like local celebrity around here. Now, let's get with it, man. Wake up with
the most
every
famous
day.
guy here is KG.
75% of the audio, baby. But wake up with we're every day, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10. You catch Kool-Aid, Flannel Sam.
Kool-Aid's in
Broder.
Vegas.
Yeah, he is in Vegas.
Man.
But he will be tapping into us to report from the Summer League. But you can also catch Broder and JB as well as we cover all of Detroit sports every morning, but only if you tap into Woodward Sports every morning, 8 to 10.
Is he going to see Luke Walton when he's out there?
Absolutely. Talking about the Pistons Summer League for a minute. The NBA has figured it out, I feel like, to televise and to make a little bit of a bigger deal about the Summer League than they have in the past. I really enjoy watching. I turned on NBA TV a little bit this weekend.
You're still watching basketball?
Yeah, I mean, there was
People
nothing
watch
going
basketball,
on. I didn't have the Tigers on my TV.
Yeah, I know.
They
put Rocky on.
What else you gonna do?
You know, I
You
mean,
put Rocky on.
I wasn't
for the 87th time.
I wasn't watching golf, but you
No,
know,
I ain't watching it.
I wanted to see some of the younger players in the game, and I think between ESPN and NBA TV, I thought they really had a nice little show.
How's Bronny doing?
Not
Hey,
so
man,
high.
Look, leave Bronny alone.
What's he doing?
Don't be one of those
Leave
guys.
Bronny alone, man.
Be
Not
one of
so
those
high.
guys.
I've been that guy since day one, so I
know.
can keep being that guy.
Well, I do want to focus, and we do have Kool-Aid out in Vegas for the Pistons Summer League. And look, like I told you before, and they just hired Luke Walton to be the lead assistant.
That's pretty cool
For
Yeah,
JB
it's a good hire.
Bickerstaff. I mean, I told you. Look, I mean, that's a good staff, man. That's a solid staff. I mean, you talk about, Trajan Langdon. We talk about the organization a lot with the Lions, right? The organization with the Pistons looks like it's in pretty darn good hands.
Yeah.
So far, anyway. And again, we don't know what we don't know. I can't tell. Trajan Langdon's never been in charge of a team before, but I like what he's doing with the team so far.
He has the Alaskan assassin, right?
I'll tell you, JB Bickerstaff, I don't think you could have picked a better coach.
Nope.
Right? Yeah. I mean, for this organization.
Absolutely.
He
right now,
wants to be here. That's already the hardest part.
right.
So,
Look at his staff.
Yeah.
Like his staff. I mean, I think Piston fans now, over the last couple of weeks, have a little bit of a pulse.
yeah, I would say so.
You're back now, a little.
I am.
You're back a little.
I am. Look, I have no preconceived notions about where I think this franchise is going to be in 2024, 2025. But at least I can see that you're in good hands. And a lot of that, it doesn't happen overnight. But if you have good decision makers as part of your organization, and I do think, again, we don't know what we don't know, but Trajan Langdon has acquitted himself just fine so far.
Yeah. So far, so good.
JB Bickerstaff has a track record of getting the most out of his talent.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is young talent. And I think that's all you can ask for right now. You're not going to, go from, worst to first. You've got probably a solid 9 teams in the Eastern Conference you've got to jump.
It's going to be a while.
It's going to be a little bit of a while. But
all right, but they're not going to win 14 games anymore. Those days are over.
Yeah, I think so.
Those days are over.
And I'm excited to see what they have in some of these younger guys in the summer league. And they play today at 6 o'clock. Why not turn them on and see what they got?
Let me ask you this about the Pistons and the Red Wings and the Tigers, the Illiches and the Gores. Why can't they get together like the Yankees have done, like the Mets have done, like the Dodgers have done, and make their own television network?
I think that's the next step.
What is preventing them from putting out the network that we could all here in Detroit tune on and watch our teams and not have to worry about cable companies fighting over whether they're going to put it on or not?
Well, I got to tell you this. It's one thing when the Tigers were
not
toiling
good.
10 games under 500 and you take them off my TV and they're not good. Now I'm starting to get a little bit of an itch.
You're jealous.
Yeah. Now I'm starting to get a little bit of an itch. Now you go Pistons, Red Wings, no TV.
Yeah. Look out.
I would, and again, I don't have the numbers on this, and this could be a total blasphemous statement. I don't think it is. But I would say most people in the Metro Detroit area, their cable company is Comcast.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Xfinity dominates the market.
Xfinity dominates this market, and I don't think you have a lot of people willing to spend $20 a month on a Bally Sports app to watch your team.
Not only that, you don't know what kind of position Bally's is in going forward.
Yeah.
They might be out of business.
And then guys like you, the older crowd, they're streaming sites.
What do you mean I'm older?
Well, older,
Okay.
experience.
I am older.
But there are streaming sites online where you can watch the games, but it's a hassle to get to.
It's
you have
cheater
to go
boxes.
through a lot of pop-ups and stuff of that nature. So there's no market for guys like you.
And I'll tell you this much, and this could be a terrible thing, and I know it is, but I don't know how to get the app on my TV.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to,
I don't blame you. It's not easy.
You go to your TV, your smart TV, and you hit search
but
on your app.
I have Comcast. So, do I then got to get the other remote and then go TV input?
Yes.
Turn it on.
Find Bally's.
It's too much. It's too much. I don't want any of it.
And then Bally's ain't even the best app to be selling to people.
That's the rumor out there.
Yeah,
It's
the
not very
interface
good.
is horrible. I would never pay for it.
That's why I went after 30 years. I let it go, and I got DirecTV, and it's not the dish.
Yeah.
It's a plug-in, just like you order on Roku Stick or the Fire Stick. That's what you do.
Right.
And I get everything, and I'm so used to it now.
Right.
And the app is fantastic. When you guys are talking about when the Tigers are playing in the afternoon,
Right.
I'm watching the game with you. I'm watching the game.
Me too.
We went to Hook in St. Clair Shores for lunch.
Right down the street from me.
Saturday. My daughter had a figure skating competition.
Oh, it's great.
And
Shout out to Lydia.
Absolutely. And after the figure skating, we went to Hook. And it was so funny because they've got 2 big TVs in there, and the Tigers were on one of them. And I was like, how nice is this?
Isn't that
How
something?
nice is this?
I'm so pissed that I went to the Friday night game and I sold my aunt's 4 tickets for Saturday.
No.
And I stayed
Would
home.
you have stayed to the end, though? 9-4 game?
I would have.
In a 9-4 game in the Heat?
Well, maybe not.
Right? So
maybe if I was up at the press box.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Right?
I might have got a couple more innings out of it.
Yeah.
But you're probably right. I probably would have tried to escape.
Exactly.
Probably would have tried to escape.
We all thought it was over.
So anyway, Pistons, 6 o'clock later today if you're watching this live anyway. Their summer league opens up. And again, follow Kool-Aid on social media, Woodward Sports. Of course, he will have everything for you on that.
That kid's a hustler, man.
He is.
Yeah, he is. And watch out for Boobie Clintman, man. The Pistons second-round pick. He had
Boobie? I thought it was Bobby.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Bobby Clintman. I'm sorry.
Where's your head?
Boobie Clintman.
Where's your head?
Yeah, right? I know, right? But Bobby Clintman, he had a good showing in his first game. 15 points, can shoot the 3 very well. Looking
Nice.
forward to what
It's
he
good
can
to
do.
hear.
Yeah.
That's great.
Good to hear.
Get you caught up on some NFL news and notes now, including
This is sad.
It's terrible.
Crazy weekend.
Jacoby Jones, man. First of all, what a terrible week for people passing away that you know.
Yeah.
Shannon Doherty, 90210.
53 years young.
Yeah. Richard Simmons.
Richard Simmons.
Dr. Ruth. I know she was in her 90s, but Dr. Ruth
She died
Westheimer,
too?
She died. The kid that was in the TV show Alf. He's 46 years old.
Wow.
He passed away.
Died suddenly.
This
I don't
is
like to hear
wild.
that.
No, and then Jacoby Jones at 40. And
That's
his family
wild.
puts out a statement on the NFL players website, and they say he passed away with his family, and he passed away peacefully.
Oh, my God.
And we don't know what happened to him. God bless him, man. And Pete, I don't know if you could cover up the video. I guess it's probably not even worth playing. But the hit goes 109 yards on a kickoff return in Super Bowl 47, the Harbaugh. You remember this?
Yep. And later on, it was Lombardi bringing him out to the Raiders. Jim Harbaugh, that is. And there's going to be a run back from 9 deep for Jacoby Jones. And look at him go. Jones is past the 50, and he is flying inside the 20, and a kickoff return, 109 yards.
Oh, hello, friends. That was Jim Nantz, of course, on CBS, man. What a game. The Harbaugh, of course, goes to the Ravens that day. And Jacoby Jones,
after they hit the lights,
is going to be missed big time. Yeah, they had to hit the lights to keep it close. But, man, it just kills me, man.
I don't like to hear about young people dying, man.
No.
I don't like to hear about young
no
people dying.
No cause of death. That's crazy.
No doubt about it.
Here's something for you guys. Vikings wideout, second-year player Jordan Addison got himself in a little trouble, fell asleep in his car, was arrested for DUI. So these guys, man, these millionaires, I don't understand why you're getting in a car.
Yeah.
The phone, man, you have it. We all have it.
Uber, call
Push
a friend,
a damn
somebody.
button. What are you doing? Driving. What are you doing? When are they going to learn?
Hire a driver. Like, there's so many options.
Well, the good news is that nobody got hurt.
No, he fell asleep.
Nobody got hurt, and hopefully, his lesson is learned, and we'll see what happens. But it is so hard to wrap your head around the fact that, you've conceivably got all the money in the world, and like you can get a $20 Uber ride. It's just it's inconceivable for
even if it's a couple of hundred.
Right. Yeah, no doubt.
By the way, that reminds me. I'll do my little side note here.
Sure.
I'm flipping channels last night before I got to Rocky, and I'm on Prime, and I see this movie, Knock Knock. It's called
Knock Knock.
Knock Knock.
Who's
And
there?
one of my favorites is in it, Keanu Reeves. I love Keanu Reeves. By the way, today's the anniversary of Point Break. One of my top 5 all-time movies. Top 5. I love Point Break. I love Point Break. Bodie, of course, Johnny Utah. Anyway, the kid, he's an architect. His wife is this famous artist. They have 2 beautiful kids. They live in this beautiful place in California. And she's going away for the weekend with the kids. And it's Father's Day weekend. And he had to stay back to finish his work. So the kids and them, they go away. So he's there. He's former DJ. So he's playing some music. He's doing his architecture work on a thing. This is Knock Knock, it's called. All of a sudden he hears a knock on the door. Knock, knock. Like 1 a.m. Opens the door. And standing there is Anna de Armas. You know Anna? Is that her name? Anna one of the most beautiful women. And the girl that was with her, also beautiful.
I'll Google later.
They're soaking wet from the rain. They're like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. We're trying to find his address. Blah, blah, blah.
At 1 a.m?
At 1 a.m.
Oh, God.
They were going to a party. So he's like, well, would you like to come in? I can call you an Uber. Blah, 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 blah. So I couldn't finish the movie. I had to shut the damn movie. They talk him in. They wear the poor guy down. That's all I got to say is they wear him down. He's a good man, and he finally breaks.
Oh, my
God. And, things happen, and then they won't leave the house.
Oh, my God.
Of course not.
They will not leave.
Close the door into the movie.
I shut and his wife's on a FaceTime with him the next day, and he's like trying to run away from these women that are in the picture.
Get out of here.
To try to talk to his wife. And I was sick to my stomach. I shut the movie off.
Oh my
I could
God.
not finish the movie.
Close the movie
this
off,
guy, he did everything he could to say no to these women. That's all I got to say. He did everything
Wouldn't have got
he
me
could.
like that.
I had to shut the damn movie off.
Oh, my God.
I would have had nightmares.
That is so
Which
funny.
I think I did anyway
Right.
that night.
Hey, but you got to see Rocky. You
did.
ended up on Rocky.
Rocky.
144th time.
Rocky 2 tonight. Maybe Rocky 3 even.
Yeah,
I hate when Mick dies, though.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
kills me.
It is funny, like some of the
Mr.
things that we turn to, and
Correct.
after the events of the weekend, and look, we're a sports show, and I want to stick to sports and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But nonetheless, after the events of this weekend, it is funny how you just turn your blinders on, and you're like, I'm watching Rocky, or
Yes.
I'm watching Days of Thunder,
You
or
have to.
I'm watching.
Yeah.
That's my
you know
life,
what I mean?
man.
You'll go
I'm
crazy
right?
if
I
you
mean,
don't.
Yeah.
You
I
totally
don't want to read about. I don't want to
Right.
see anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
You shut everything out, and you're like, okay, I'm going to put this off to the side, and I'm going to watch the Godfather trilogy right now. You know what I mean? Or
Something to brighten your
Right.
days.
Right. Gotta laugh to
Right.
keep from crying.
Let me
man.
brighten my day. Let me turn the Godfather
Yes.
on.
Right.
Yes.
Said no
Hey,
one ever.
Remember, don't ever take sides against the family again. That's all I got to tell you.
Damn right.
Right. But,
I guess Braylon's playing good, by the way.
Yeah,
we don't know
ain't
where the
seen
hell
Braylon
Braylon
at
is
all.
right now.
I saw him in a golf cart
Yeah.
once. Ain't seen him no more in 2 hours. So.
right. So wait, Pete says when he rolled up here today to park his car, Braylon was teeing off at the hole next to the parking lot.
Oh, my God. Did you yap at him? Did you yell at him?
No, I didn't
Okay.
You didn't get him in his backswing? Oh, my gosh. That is so funny, though, isn't it?
It is, man.
So, I mean,
but
whether
you
you're-
see the things I do to avoid the outside work. Nobody does that better than me.
No,
I stay in my bubble.
Let me tell you, like, if Tom Mazaway, like, legitimately doesn't know what's happening, he's not kidding. He doesn't watch anything other than he listens to 70s on 7
Oh, God.
on Sirius XM, and he
80s on 8 as well.
Well,
80s on
sometimes, but that's an 80-20% of the time.
Living your glory days.
Also, he's got probably 100 hours of old NFL football games
Oh, yeah.
on his DVR.
No, I heard about that.
So people go home, they might flip the news on. Tom Mazaway goes to the DVR and puts on a Wednesday night replay of the 49ers and the Seahawks.
Oh, what a
12
game.
years 2011.
What a game.
You know,
What a
that's
game.
the kind
What a
of
game.
guy Tom Mazaway
Well,
is.
if Joe Buck's on the mic, I got to watch it.
Exactly.
You like Joe Buck?
You know,
I love Joe Buck.
I
Jack
like
Buck
Joe
was
Buck.
my
I
idol.
can't
Now
stand
listen.
Joe and Troy. I can't stand
Now,
Come on, man.
Tonight
They're
is
too
the
boring to me.
All-Star. This is All-Star weekend, so what Maz will do is he'll put the All-Star game on from 1989 and see Bo Jackson and Ken Caminiti.
Listen to me, man. By the way, his cousin, his nephew got drafted last night by the Braves.
Cam
Caminiti.
It was rumored the Tigers were
are
going to
be
take
in
him.
on him.
Yeah.
That was the first baseman I was thinking
Yes,
of.
he was the last kid
That was
left,
the first
too.
baseman
Yeah, that was
I was
rumored,
thinking
yeah.
of.
He was the last kid in the green room. Left.
Was he?
Yep, and he goes to the Braves, and you know he'll dominate.
Oh, yeah.
He will dominate. That's all I got to say.
Absolutely. But
Don't forget, Leave It to Beavers on my DVR as well.
God.
Batman.
it's serious, dude.
I'm a Batman guy, so I'm still watching Batman. You know, I still
Michael
watch
Keaton
it.
Batman, or are you older than that?
Adam West, pal.
Oh, my God.
Adam West.
R.I.P. the great Adam West. But still.
R.I.P.
But again, if you're ever looking for ways to avoid any sort of pop culture, any sort of water cooler talk, all you have to do is check in on Tom Mazaway. He is the prototypical blinders on guy.
Yeah. I don't blame him. I'm like that, too.
It's what do we have? What do we have to look forward to?
Not a damn thing.
We got guys. We got presidents
And
being
NFL
shot at.
season.
That's it.
Yeah,
Right,
you got the
the
NFL.
I got the second half of baseball
Wait,
coming up.
Let me ask you. So I'm a Lions season ticket holder.
Okay.
I'm a Lions season ticket holder, and I did not put my name in or grab Lions loyal members exclusive training camp dates.
Oh,
I am not training camp guy.
really?
Yes, I am not
Don't
training
you think your
camp
kids
guy.
would have loved to have gone to see that?
The answer is no, and probably if my kids were into sports, I would have done that for the kids.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm a little bit jaded because I've done that so much that I don't want to see it again.
But this is your team, man.
I know. But I'll go to the games, but I just don't want to go to practice. How many people love to go to the practice?
A lot of people
They're
that
fun, man.
a lot of
I mean,
people
it'll
that
be
can't
bad.
go to the games.
Right,
A lot
yeah.
of people that can't make it, can't afford the games, want to get out to those free practices. And
see a lot during
my
those
kid
practices.
Lily, who's my oldest, she's 21. God bless you, Lil. She's in Chicago today. Her first day of Chicago Bears training camp.
My goodness.
Yep.
Shout out, man.
Yep.
How do you feel about it? Did you talk to her?
I talked to her today. She FaceTimed me from there. I'm going to get there on Friday. Kathy's with her, my wife, and they set her up in this beautiful hotel. She's with the team hotel.
Nice.
She is an event coordinator, intern.
Okay.
She gets to watch the players and their wives and their families,
Dive
take care of
Bears.
them, and chip in on training camp with the Chicago Bears. Maybe I told her, look for those HBO Max cameras, man. Get on those cameras. But my kid is doing all right when it comes to that. She's better than her dad.
So she got the inside track on what's going on with Caleb. She's going to be feeding us information.
She's going to be feeding us info. Matter of fact, we can have her part of the show.
That's what I'm talking about.
How you speaking of Hard Knocks with the Chicago Bears, you've got Hard Knocks off season with the New York Giants.
That's tomorrow.
You've got Receiver on Netflix.
I got through 1 so far.
Yeah, I've got through 3.
Yeah.
Now, I fast-forwarded kind of Debo and a couple. Kittle got me. I'm tired of Kittle.
Right.
I just watch Amon-Ra, and now the second one I think is JJ and who else?
The Devontae Adams stuff is good.
I know.
I feel bad for that kid.
Oh, my God.
He threw Garoppolo under the bus.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
How do you do that to Jimmy G?
Because he didn't like it.
Well, I mean, not only – how do you do that if you're Devontae Adams? How do you do that if you're Jimmy G?
Yeah.
You score 3 points, you give Devontae Adams 1 target.
Yeah. Makes no sense.
I don't think that's a Devontae Adams problem. I think that's a Jimmy G problem.
And you saw the game, the Monday night game that we played them.
Yeah.
And he missed them wide open 2-3 times. That could have changed that game.
It just goes to show you system, too, right? I mean, Jimmy G and Kyle Shanahan's system is one player. Jimmy G and Josh McDaniels' system is another player.
Yes.
Just how important system is to player success.
Where's Josh now? Where's McDaniels?
Fired.
I don't think he's
At
anywhere.
home.
Is he anywhere?
Collecting a check.
I don't think he's anywhere.
He hasn't been rehired?
But, I mean, you talk about players, you talk about players and all these guys a bust, this guy's not a bust. But, I mean, look at Braylon, okay? Look at Braylon, who we do the show with every day. And Braylon Edwards
the
goes
quarterbacks he had to have
to the Cleveland Browns with 17 quarterbacks.
Yep, including Charlie Fry.
I mean? How are you like the best quarterback you ever play with as a wide receiver is Charlie Fry?
It's crazy.
Like, no offense, but
crazy. Then you get traded, you got Mark Sanchez.
Yep.
Like, come on now.
He got the 2 AFC championships in a row.
And they should have been in the Super Bowl.
But again, like that's the best quarterback that you're playing with, you know, and you play a couple of games with this guy, then you play a couple of games with that guy, then they swap out again.
Got to relearn the guy, yes.
When you talk about player success, 90% of it, I don't know about 90% of it, but so much of it is where you go.
Yeah.
No question.
Absolutely. And that's in
Look at a kid,
league.
Cam Caminiti had to wait 18 picks to get picked last night. But where's he going? He's going to the Braves.
He's going to a great
to the Braves.
Situation.
But do you want to be picked by the Nationals or do you want to be picked by the Braves?
Look at Brock Purdy. No offense to Brock Purdy, but Brock Purdy is the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. If Brock Purdy is the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, do you think he's
out of the
any
league
good?
already?
Out of the league. Never. Like you might get one start if you're hurt, if the starter's hurt before you. So, like, for instance, Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Poor bastard.
If Bryce Young goes to the Houston Texans,
maybe it's different.
Might be different. Might be different.
Right.
Although CJ is pretty damn good.
Yeah. Anyway.
Pretty good. I have to say so myself.
So Maz, home run derby tonight.
Yep. I'm going with Gunnar Henderson. Kenny's got Adolis Garcia.
Yes, sir.
And who did you wind up picking? Bobby Witt Jr.?
I picked Bobby Witt Jr.
And Pete, who are you picking?
I'm actually with you on Gunnar.
You got Gunnar?
If I got a second pick, I would say Teoscar Hernandez.
That's not a bad pick either.
Yeah, I really like him.
Yeah.
Now he hits a lot of ground balls. Even though he's a power hitter, he is a ground ball guy. Hits them hard. So I don't know how he's going to react in Texas, but it's going to be hot as you know what there.
Right.
The ball could be flying tonight. And then tomorrow you got the All-Star game, and my guy, Paul Skeens from the Pirates, who are the Tigers of the National League, by the way, gets the start. Paul Skeens, no-hitter, threw 99 pitches, and they pulled him the other day.
Yeah.
To me, that's horse crap.
We talked about that.
Happen anymore like that.
Well, we talked about that on the show, too. I mean, how protective is too protective? I mean,
that's too protective.
If he throws 115 pitches, is that going to be the difference?
When you're throwing 100 miles per hour, though, I mean, you never know when that one pitch is the one that'll do you in.
If you go back about 10 years, and the Mets might have been more than that, Johan Santana never had a no-hitter. Nobody on the Mets ever had a no-hitter. They left him in, and he was like into the 120s.
That's right.
But he got the no-hitter, and that was never the same.
Yeah.
He basically was out of the league in a year and a half.
Wasn't he into the 130s, though?
Might have been.
That's ridiculous.
I thought it was.
That's the disaster part.
I
of doing
thought it was
no-hitter.
completely out of hand. I mean, when Skeens got taken out, I think he had 93, 94 pitches.
Yes. And he had a 6-pitch inning in the 7th.
So, I mean,
we'll see him tomorrow, and we'll see who goes against him. Did the American League even say who was pitching?
Not as I.
Maybe Tyler Anderson from the Angels.
It's Corbin.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
Corbin from the Orioles.
Yep.
You know, one of the things, I feel like the pitchers have such an advantage. I do think they need to lower the mound a little bit.
Oh, God,
and get more offense.
What's the average?
Game.
240?
242 is
Can't
the
have
batting
that.
average
Yeah.
in
Can't have that.
Major League Baseball right now. I mean, if you're hitting 245, you are an above-average hitter.
It's crazy.
In Major League Baseball. That is when you talk about trying to grow the game, and I understand 1-0 games like happened the other night, Maz, and you love that 1-0 game against, was it Cleveland?
1-0 Pittsburgh, you mean?
No, when the Tigers won 1-0.
Guardians.
Yeah. They won 1-0 on the air, you like that kind of game?
I do.
I don't think that helps grow the sport.
But I'm already bought in, right?
What do they say? Chicks dig the long ball.
They do. That Saturday game, 9-5, 9-9, 11-9. That's what people like to see.
Speaking of the long ball,
now.
did you see Philadelphia yesterday? Philadelphia and Oakland?
Oh, 18 runs for the A's?
8 home runs for the Oakland A's.
The A's got talent, man. They try to kill them every year. And every year they overplay themselves. And the poor team, they're like vagabonds, man.
Right.
And they're going to go to Vegas. They haven't even been approved yet.
They're not even going to Vegas.
You're in Sacramento
I know.
right now.
I mean, God,
the Sacramento A's.
Leave him in California somewhere, please.
They not doing that.
No.
God, help them, man.
Too much money in Vegas.
Hey, this was fun today.
Absolutely. This was great. And again, I want to thank Calvin Johnson for having us out here today. The Calvin Johnson Jr. Foundation here at the Detroit Golf Club, his second annual, 17th year of the foundation, and of course second annual Catching Dreams weekend. We're happy to be a part of it at Woodward Sports.
Got to have Ermanni on today, Kirk Gibson.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Great day.
couple of big things. Like Kirk Gibson said, you should sign Tarek Skubal and Jack Flaherty.
Yep.
Herman Moore, talked about going into the Pride of the Lions, Calvin Johnson going into the Pride. He'd like to see some other guys, including.
Absolutely.
I think he's got to go in.
I agree.
And Calvin Johnson, man, how great of it is
Congratulations, Megatron.
this amount of people show up at this event.
I got to see Charles Haley today.
Yeah,
for God's sake.
and I did forget he was a Lions coach at one point.
I didn't. I knew he was.
Yeah, I knew he was, but I just forgot.
Kenny Mayne. Love Kenny Mayne.
Yeah.
What was his ESPN Sports Center? Did he have a catchphrase?
No, he was just very dry. Very dry. And funny as hell.
Right.
Funny as hell.
All right, guys, that'll be it here for us.
Hey, Stick.
Heavyweights back in the studio tonight, 5 to 7 if you're watching live. Check us out anytime online.
Hey, Stick's getting hitched soon.
He is. Baby.
Congrats.
On X, on TikTok, Instagram, anywhere, on YouTube as well. Woodward Sports, baby.
See you guys.
Sports Network. Woodward Sports.